Hey everybody, this is Angel. I'm glad you stopped by to listen in for a couple of minutes that I have to spend with you. I want to talk briefly about sex sales. Yep, simply sex sales. You know, I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And you know, when I took government and, Texas history and all that stuff, anything dealing with politics and a long time ago, doesn't really pique my interest. Don't judge me because, I don't like necessarily studying about, other things either, but somebody else may love it. That's why we have all different professions. But anyway, we'll go on and past that. And what I did learn in government, there was something called supply and demand. Maybe it was even in social studies. I don't know. But supply and demand, oh my gosh. If there is no demand, there's no supply. There's no need for supply. That's with anything in business. If there's not a need for it, people don't really go into business for something that they haven't either thought of it themselves, that they needed it, or they heard that somebody else needed it. Anyway, supply and demand, that's what it's all about. So, when you tell me that sex sells, that means somebody's buying. Who's buying? Who are the buyers of sex if it's selling? See, when you wake up and hear, you hear this, what I'm telling you, and I've had this conversation with people before. If you understand that there's a supply and a demand and you still say that sex sells, to me, that tells me somewhere you have bought into the fact that it's true. You have bought into the fact that it's okay. You might not necessarily like it, but you believe that there is a reason for it. So somewhere you're kind of okay with it, possibly. Every singer, when they ask them, when they start out without taking off all their clothes and everything, and they ask them, well, why did you change? They'll say, well, my producer or whatever, my agent wanted me to become more, sexual or whatever, or trying to compete with the other women in the industry who are showing off their bodies. Well, I understand that, because they'll turn around and say, well, sex sells. Let me tell you, the reason sex sells is because we have buyers. If the buyers will stop buying, it will stop. Strip clubs will go out of business if the horniness of men, and now even women, for whatever reason they go to a strip club, I don't know, a female strip club, I don't know, but if they would stop going, the strippers will have nothing to do. The porn business, I'm going to jump around real quick because I gotta go. Porn business, I heard some staggering results about that. Did you know, not only is it a multi-billion-dollar industry, I knew that. That wasn't staggering. That wasn't surprising. But what surprised me, they said the pornography business has increased so much that it is more money is made there than NFL, MLB, and NBA together. Are you serious? That kind of money is being spent on watching women disgrace themselves, taking off their clothes, having sex with man after man after man, woman after woman after woman on the big screen, on the small screen or whatever, and it's making more money than all three of those professions together. Now, I don't know what breakdown, but I don't care if they're talking about ticket sales. I don't care if they're talking about the fees that they're paying the players, which I don't think that's it. But however, when you take those three together and you add them, you say the porn business is outselling that, bringing in more money than that. You got to be kidding me. There's an issue here. Well, see, in the next videos, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that disturbed me so bad. This past weekend, I'll briefly tell you a little bit about it. This past weekend, I was at a track meet of my daughter. She's in high school. She runs track. Well, she's pretty young and she's pretty slender, a little bitty girl. But all the other girls and all the other teams from all around Texas and and some other states, quite a few states, BYU, Utah, Iowa, everywhere. These girls were like bad. I'm talking banging bodies. Just beautiful eyelashes on and their long hair, and they're running track. Eyebrows are just together. Just beautiful, and they're having fun. They're children. They're high school girls, and there were some college girls. And do you know, it got so good to some of the men that were sitting behind me that they were, saying the D word. And I'm thinking, You got to be kidding me. These are somebody's kids out here. And these were grown men who were in their 40s and early 50s. Just going crazy, making, they had enough. They had been there so long that they could not hold it any longer. That these girls running through, they walking through with panties on, that's what they run. I don't like it, but that's what they do, It's like, you cannot refrain from that. I'm not saying you're blind, but somewhere in your head, you need to say, that's a kid. That's a young girl. See, people, human trafficking is real. Date rape period is real. Molestation is real. Where do you think it comes from? It comes from that sex sales. It comes from that not having respect and not having any boundaries to say that is a child. That is somebody's daughter. I may even have a child that age. I do. But you have to say, would I want someone doing that to my child? But anyway, that's all that I have time for. You can see that I get all hyped up and I get all out of control when I start talking about that, because it just ticks me off. It does. With that sex sale, see, we might know a thing, but it doesn't mean that we can't stop a thing. Like I said, supply and demand. Cut off the demand, and they'll have no choice but to shut down the supply.